Before we get into the episode, I am thrilled to announce that the EntreMD Business School is open for enrollment. The EntreMD Business School is the only school of its kind for physicians who want to build 6, 7, and multiple 7-figure businesses. Over the last 2 years, we have had hundreds of doctors go through the school with unbelievable results. Some of them run brands, some of them run private practices, some of them are coaches, some have other kinds of service-based businesses or product-based businesses. And we've had people come in and cross the 6-figure milestone, cross the 7-figure milestone, cross the multiple 7-figure milestone. You will be in a place where you'll get the coaching, the community, the accountability that you need to thrive as an entrepreneur, especially in the times that we're in. So maybe you've been following me for a while. Maybe you've been getting so much out of the EntreMD podcast and you've been wondering, how can I work with Dr. Una and the community more? Well, this is your chance. Come join us in the EntreMD Business School. It is application only. So go to entremd.com/business to turn in your application. I cannot tell you how many doctors have made statements like this. I recovered my investment in the first week. I recovered my investment in my bank account in the first 90 days. This is the best investment I've made in myself ever. I want you to have that kind of story, not just a story of building a great business that serves a lot and earns a lot, but having a business that gives you the freedom to live life on your terms. So don't wait any longer. entremd.com/business. And now for the episode. Hi, docs. Welcome to the EntreMD Podcast, where it is all about helping amazing physicians just like you embrace entrepreneurship so you can have the freedom to live life and practice medicine on your terms. I'm your host, Dr. Una. Welcome back. Awesome. I'm so happy that you're here. Okay, so today, we're going to look at something that is really important to entrepreneurs, but not directly related to entrepreneurs, and you're going to enjoy it, okay? Before we get into it, I want you to kind of think about a 3-legged stool, right? So a 3-legged stool, and to achieve proper balance, you kind of need all 3 legs to be functioning properly, right? So throughout this episode, I kind of want you to think that way. So your success as an entrepreneur is one part, but then there are 2 other pieces at least that help to create some kind of balance. Now, this is not everything that you need, but these 3 need to be there. So imagine someone who builds multiple 7-figure businesses, but at the end of it finds out that he ruined his health in the process. Or imagine someone who builds a wildly successful practice, but is crippled by the mental stress. And if you're here and you have a business that's, hit 6 figures or something like that, or you're in the early phases of building a business like that, you know the mental stress that can be associated with it, right? So imagine this person builds that wildly successful practice, but couldn't cope with the stress, became an alcoholic, lost her family in the process, the whole 9 yards. You're not going to necessarily define that as success, right? So these are successful entrepreneurs, but chances are you don't really want to be like that. Now, let me pause here to say I'm not making light of anybody's struggles. I'm pointing this out because I want to offer help. So if you haven't experienced these, then this would be prevention. If you're in the middle of this, then this will be the cure. But either way, this is going to be a really great episode, okay? So what is the point of having a successful business if you don't have the health to enjoy it, right? Or what is the point of having a successful business if you don't have peace of mind? So money is a form of wealth, and health is a form of wealth. And peace of mind is a form of wealth. All right. So we talk a lot about the money piece of it, but today we're going to kind of look at the health piece of it and the mind piece of it. Now, I'm not a psychologist or anything like that, but, success leaves clues. And these are, I want us to look at, 7 power habits that would help you maintain health in your body and in your mind. And I'm not going to necessarily separate them because a lot of the things that will work to make your body healthier will make your mind healthier and all of that stuff. So we're just going to look at the 7 habits as a whole. Now, a lot of the things I'm going to point out are not going to be rocket science. Like you're not going to go like, oh my gosh, I never heard that before, right? Chances are you may not. And I don't want you to fall into a trap that I see many people fall into. And this is what that trap is. Oh, I've heard that before. Oh, read this book. Oh, I've read that book before. I've heard that topic before. But the question is not if you've heard it before. The question is, are you doing it? Because if you're not doing it, then you don't really know it. So you probably need to hear it again. Okay. And I actually learned from Jim Quick. Now, Jim Quick is amazing. He is considered a brain coach. He teaches people how to learn faster, learn better, optimize their superpower, which is their brain. Okay, that's kind of his thing. And he was talking about a principle to learn faster. And one of them is when you approach a material you need to go over, the first thing you need to do is forget what you know. And what that is, forget what you know. Don't come with, oh, I know that stuff. Come with awe, like, wow, I'm going to learn something new. And then what that does is it actually opens you up to learn something new. Okay. So I want you to not fall into that trap of, I know this, or I've heard this, or whatever, especially if you're not doing it. Okay. All right. So let's look at those 7 things. The first thing is exercise. And you're like, Dr. Una, really? Yes, it's exercise. And remember, the right question is, am I doing it? So are you exercising regularly? Regularly could be 5 days a week. Okay. Let me be nice. But are you exercising 5 days a week? All right. And if you're not, I don't want this. The idea of this is not for you to be overwhelmed. So I don't want you to go like, oh my gosh, now something I'm not doing. No, if you aren't, commit to something. Commit to a 20-minute walk. Commit to a 30-minute walk. The idea, what makes this work is consistency and progress. What that means is there's something I do every day, and then I strive to do more. Right? So if you start off with a 20-minute walk and you're doing that every day, that's great because you're consistent. Now, the progress piece means you do 20 minutes and then after a week, you're like, I'm going to start doing 25 minutes. And after a week, you're like, I'm going to start doing 30 minutes. And if you keep doing that, you will get to the point where you can do 3 miles, you can do 5 miles and stuff like that. So exercise regularly. It is great for your body. It is great for your mind. Okay. So this is something that you want to be doing. The second thing is to eat right and drink water. And you're like, Dr. Una, and I'm like, I know, but are you doing it, right? How many times do you eat junk food a week? How many times do you eat fast food a week? How many times do you drink more than one sweetened beverage a day? How many times are you doing this stuff? When was the last time you had a salad? And I don't mean a salad drenched in ranch, but when was the last time? So make that commitment to eat right. Make that commitment to drink water, okay? Because if your body packs up, you cannot build a successful business. If your body is in pain, your mind cannot function optimally for you to strategize and build a successful business. This is as important as marketing, okay? So drink water. The third thing is sleep. Now, I will be the first to confess that, sleeping is it's the thing that I've struggled with because I have a really busy mind. But anyway, and I'm a night owl, so I'm working on this, right? But the recommendation is 7 to 9 hours. And you might go like, well, with my job and all this stuff, and I have kids and blah, blah, blah. So I get 4 to 5. Listen, if you go from 4 to 5 to 6 and you're doing at least 6 every night, in the EntreMD world, that is called progress, okay? And we can start from there and we work our way to 7 and 8, okay? So sleep. And, I told the story in the podcast before of Jeff Bezos, and they asked him about sleep. And he says that he commits to get 8 hours of sleep every day because his job as the CEO is to make a few key critical decisions every day. It's not to stock warehouses, not to do any of that. It's decision making. So it's actually a disservice to his company to not be well rested for his mind to be in optimal space to make those decisions. Can you imagine that? I mean, we're talking about $1 trillion company here. And his strategy, one of his strategies for making quality decisions is getting a quality night's sleep. So if someone who owns $1 trillion company tells you should sleep, I recommend you sleep. Okay. All right. So that's number 3. Number 4, you need to set boundaries. Okay. All right. So I'll use an example from private practice, and maybe you're on call and you let your patients call you all night for non-emergent things. Stop it. Set boundaries, because you're going to need to pace yourself. You're going to be an entrepreneur for a while, and you're going to need to function at optimal capacity to do it. And if you don't set boundaries, people are going to come in. It's not to them to respect boundaries you haven't set. That's not the way this works. Set boundaries. If you are an entrepreneur and you work long hours, you still need to set boundaries. You still need to say, I start at 7 and I end at 8, right? And then when you end. When you end, be done. And give yourself time to refresh and recycle and do all that stuff. It may not be optimal. I mean, if you do play your cards right, maybe 3 years from now or whatever, you can work 3 hours a day and you're fine. So maybe you're in that phase where you're paying the price for it. Set boundaries. Set my work time. This is when I start. This is when I end. It doesn't mean, it is written. It can't change, but set it. Okay? So that way you don't feel like you're working 24/7. Because that is stressful and it's hard on the mind. Okay. All right. So set boundaries. Number 5, disconnect. All right. So this should be scheduled. All right. You should have times where it is technology free, because your brain needs a break. You need some kind of white space. Okay. So start with 30 minutes, schedule it. Take your phone, put it off. Take your computer, put it off. Give yourself space. Be bored, right? Be bored. You can meditate. You can just take a walk and be present. So what I mean by that is you're looking at the plants. You're looking at the beautiful flowers. You're looking at the cloud formation. You're looking at the different kinds of trees. All right. It is amazing for de-stressing and amazing for unlocking creative ideas. You need to take your brain out of that go, 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 stimulate mode and give it space to just be bored. Okay. So number 5 is disconnect. So schedule a time, put it on your phone. When that alarm goes off, turn off everything and then just be great. Okay. All right. Number 6, take a break, especially when you find yourself in a position where I don't know what I'm doing. This is so stressful. I can't take it anymore. And if that happens, don't think you're some weird entrepreneur. You are an entrepreneur. That's really all that is. All right. So if you can take a day off, take it. If you're like, Dr. Una, you don't understand. I can't take a day off. Can you take off half a day? If you can take off half a day, take half a day. Don't have a to-do list. Don't have, huge expectations of yourself. Go read a book for fun. All right. So not a medical book or not a business book, but a story. Go read something for fun, especially if it's not your thing. Play with your kids. Go for a drive. Take a walk. Have some funny, silly time with loved ones. Go play hide and seek with the kids. Call up a girlfriend. You guys go have lunch. Now, not your entrepreneur girlfriend who at the end of the day, your conversation is going to go to how to build a really big business, but someone who has no interest in what you do as far as that goes. And you guys can talk about clothes and the weather and all this kind of stuff and just enjoy it and have fun. Okay. Number 7, visualize. All right. One of the best things you can do for your mental health, like mental self-care, is to have a positive outlook. And one of the greatest ways to do that is to visualize. Okay. So don't let your thoughts happen to you. Control the narrative. Don't just sit and let weird thoughts like, oh, you're no good at this. Oh, you're not going to be a great entrepreneur. Who even told you could be an entrepreneur? You're a physician. Really? You're going to promote yourself? Everybody's going to laugh. You're going to put that out there. You're going to get a 1-star review. No, don't just let those thoughts sit in your mind. They're not your thoughts anyway. Why would you think those thoughts of yourself, right? Don't let your thoughts happen to you. Control the narrative. So push those aside and put your own picture of your business working, of you being able to pay your employees on time and have enough cash in the bank, what you want your bank balance to to look like, what the kind of people you want to help, the reviews of people telling you how they changed their life, all of that stuff. Put that in your head. And if you're wondering like, wow, I want to learn more about visualization, episode 42 of the EntreMD podcast, we talked about visualize your way to success. So you definitely want to go listen to that episode, okay? So these are 7 things that you can do to bring balance, all right? So your 3-legged stool is balance. So exercise regularly, eat right and drink water, sleep for 7 to 9 hours a day, set boundaries, disconnect, take a break, and visualize. Okay. So what I want you to do today is I want you to make a commitment to do 3 of these things that you're not doing consistently right now. Now, again, don't get into overwhelm and don't get into, oh my God, all these things I'm not doing. No, it's progress over perfection. So pick a few things so we can start having progress, and then we'll take it from there. Okay. All right. So remember, if you haven't gotten your tickets to EntreMD Live, which is happening June 27th, our virtual edition, you want to do it now. It's entremd.com/event. It's going to be that one game changer event that will set you on your path. Okay. So you don't want to miss it. You're going to be in the room with the right people, physician entrepreneurs just like you. You will get to hear stories from physician entrepreneurs who started scared, who started not knowing they can do that, and they are crushing it. Okay. And I'm going to be giving you a lot of direction, and I'm going to be giving you a roadmap to create a business that can thrive, whether there's a pandemic or not. Okay. So you would definitely want to sign up for it. The best part of it is it's going to be a lot of fun. All right. So what I want for you is this. I want wealth to be your 3-legged stool where you have money, you have health, and you have peace, so that you can enjoy life, because business is not an end in itself. It's a means to an end. Okay. So it's not going to all end with just the money. All right. So thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to get your tickets, and I will see you on the very next episode of the EntreMD Podcast. If you love this podcast, please take a moment to subscribe, share, and review it on iTunes. As you go about your week, remember, you're not just an MD, you're an EntreMD. Don't forget to tune in next week for another great episode. Until next time.